wanted to, I don't know, bounce a couple of ideas off of you. Since I'm currently doing like my travel planning sort of thing for the beginning of next year, and I was wondering if we obviously don't have to plan this now, but if we, I don't know, want to go travel together again in the summer like we've done, and plan another little trip somewhere. I thought maybe because I've seen...
Natasha and I met as kids in a 6th grade classroom, but our friendship only properly formed and stuck when we re-entered each other's circles in the summer before 12th grade, and couldn't deny how compatible we are in our life's mission of having fun. In an ironic turn of events, I think the reason we keep travelling together is that the gap year backpacking trip we'd planned never happened, and we're still trying to catch up on the lost visions of 2020. It's like that unfulfilled dream tied us to a lifelong responsibility of exploring the world together. But she's also just my favourite person to do most things with. And since we don't live close by, short trips and visits become intense episodes of catching each other up on everything that's happened in our lives in the few months prior. After settling back into each other's company and into sunshine after autumn had already begun, I could think of almost nothing I enjoyed more than being on a trip with my best friends. We forgot everything that confined our lives to a strict set of rules, and woke up every morning with only one task. How do we make this day as fun as possible? For 10 days our lives were dedicated only to each other, to seeing the sunlight sparkle on the surface of the sea, and a paperback novel for each of us. We both resist routines but embrace them when they're fleeting. We slip them on like costumes to a party, like starting our days with French toast and ending them with ice cream and cold hostel showers, discussing world politics in our childhoods daily in locations I can't remember, with a constant roar from the waves in the background, and sticky skin from the seawater that tasted saltier than the oceans we were used to. We walked up these stairs on a whim, having no idea where they would take us. But when we reached the top, I thought, why does beauty ache so much? And what do I do with it? In a recent philosophy class, my professor described aesthetic experiences as tormenting. It's a torment to experience it and want to preserve it even though we can't. So I burned it into the backs of my eyes instead, and into my memory card, to be forgotten about for 2 years in a folder within folders within folders on my computer's hard drive.
Distance that I would expect from freezing.
At the start of a new day, we walked up a road under the hills with Ghibli-esque back streets, power lines and pomegranate trees. We stopped at the same times to take slightly different pictures of the ocean at the edge of the cliffs. We saw sunset-coloured umbrellas, transparent waves and families in swimsuits, coasts claimed by capitalism, and a couple sitting on a rock like a pair of models. drank in everything until we were tipsy on colour combinations and exhausted from the sun. On our way back from the beach, we bought a bunch of grapes that was so sweet I felt like I was drinking a grape Fanta straight from my childhood, and restored my blood sugar to a functional and sociable level. For a few moments that night I was no longer scared of the dark, but rather relieved to be safe from the sun that burned us. And we stared our mutual fears in the face as the waves crashed against the steps we sat on, spraying us with dark sea foam. And we kept talking, old enough to verbalize topics we'd previously dodged, until it was time to get ice cream. The next day it rained. We walked up a hill to an old ruin, biscuits in pockets. And admired it in all its wet grimness. When you arrive somewhere new, it can sometimes feel like the world keeps stretching and stretching to make room for this new place that was always there, just hidden from the folds of your consciousness. I felt strangely calm upon arrival. There was a weird sense of rightness in the billowing clouds and warmth of the air. The sound of the waves crashing rhythmically on the shore, along with the dreamy imaginations of Norwegian wood, put me to sleep for a while. Tiny rocks stuck to my skin, but I could brush them off easily. The water started glittering when the sun came out, and an old lady gave us a fragrant bunch of fresh basil from the garden behind her shop for our lunchtime pasta.
Yeah. Nice.
Natasja and I have been friends for 6 years now, and 4 at the time of the trip. With each passing year, we've disclosed bigger portions of all the thoughts we'd ever had, and our brains started to mirror each other. I found pieces of me in her, and she found pieces of her in me. I said to her once that I think our brains are similar. We are both chaotic, easily distracted, consumed by poetic experiences, hungry for understanding and deconstruction, and crave enjoyment above all else. In the years following 2020, that had dulled and slowed our lives before they could really begin. Each of our short encounters left a spark of recognition of what I used to live for. I love the way she could romanticize everything. Remembering her reminded me of poetry, as does a golden shimmer dancing on the waves. In the 2 years since this trip, our friendship has grown profusely, and it feels so long ago now, but the memories are still so sweet. A younger version of me out in the world with a friend by her side, gazing in awe. When another day began, we sunk into the sand and made up stories sunk into our brains in an oceanic rhythm to the soundtrack of a beach town. We collected sunsets like laughter, and sat on so many stairs to stare at the view, saw people in their day-to-day, and wondered about the billions of lives existing in places other than our own. When a day becomes a lull and it's just the ocean and us, and we have nothing to do except to explore new nooks of the bay, time can feel endless. Ever expanding and contracting, slowly pulsating with idleness, again and again and again. We stretch across it like goo, wander aimlessly, watch the reflections of the sun flicker like a memory. Time flows through us, bending like water to the strokes of our limbs.
That was nice, thank you. You can't see it right now. Okay. And I'll just check.
last day came with sudden sunny intensity. Three ladies with matching hats had congregated on the sand and spent the day tanning, laughing and gossiping like a prime example of small-town sisterhood. We spent the day swallowing stories and rationing biscuits because we'd run out of cash.
It looks fabulous. Okay. How about half?
That's good. Fine to save me.
Okay, there's lots of cream. Which one do you want?